What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Spiritual Sunday. I am your host, Luke Madeus, and I'm excited to be sharing a word with you tonight. Listen, the reason why I've decided to come on live and have a conversation with you tonight is because the world that we live in, I believe that there needs to be more content, more communities, environments where people can be able to have the spiritual healing that they need to be able to achieve their next level of themselves. And one of the things that we see to be a huge problem in our society is the fact that many people deal with the big challenge of their self-identity. So what I aim to do is I aim to have spiritual Sundays. Okay, this is going to be a live, I'm going to do on Sundays, spiritual Sundays, where I dive into what is necessary in our spirit, within ourselves, what is necessary for us to be able to be aware of, as well as what is necessary for us to do for us to be able to improve ourselves spiritually and be able to get the benefits out of that externally and physically. And so with that, for those of you who are fresh and new to my channel, my name is Luke Madeus, and I am known mostly for my work in the real estate industry. I've helped many people get started in real estate investing through my online platform, SOW Real Estate Education, where I educate new investors how to get started in real estate investing, make money with the least amount of error, with the least amount of money, with the least amount of knowledge and education in real estate. And I help them to be able to start making money, understand the business, and help them launch their business. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to be able to provide way more than just real estate education to everyone who follows this channel, which is why I am doing Spiritual Sundays, because from my journey, just as an entrepreneur myself, from my journey through real estate, as well as my journey helping other people become entrepreneurs, start their business in real estate, I've noticed that most people struggle. They struggle with success. They struggle with success in the things that they do. And I've always been scratching my head. Why are some people more successful faster than others, or more successful at a higher level than others? And I realized people not successful at all, how come they're not generating? Has to do with our internal self, with our self identity, with the way that we view ourselves, with the way that with our expectations, what we believe is possible for ourselves. So a lot of it has to do with our spirit. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is this: for those of you who may be on my channel already because you have an interest in real estate, you have an interest in financial freedom, you have an interest of making a lot of money, you have an interest of changing the lives of the people around you and the lives of the people that you come into contact with through your financial improvement, I'm here to tell you right now, finances, money, business, all of that is 100% spiritual. Okay, which is why spirituality matters a lot. So the whole point, the whole purpose of Spiritual Sundays is honestly to assist you in your spirit, so that way when you go out and you carry out the things that you're doing in business or in your life, whether that is to make money or to improve your relationships or to improve your health, you have your spirit in alignment to be able to serve you and help you do those things and help you accomplish those goals, rather than having a spirit that is actually causing you to experience stress. It's causing you to experience a failure, a lack of success in whatever you're doing, because our spirit controls a lot of what we do, y'all. So that's the entire point of Spiritual Sundays. Today, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the butterfly effect. Okay, y'all, this is something that I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to bring more of what I have in me out to everyone who listens to me, because I desire to give to you everything that you need to truly be able to be successful in this industry and honestly anything that you do. And again, like I mentioned before, with real estate specifically, or with any business you start, it's really a spiritual walk more than it is anything else. Okay, you've got to have your spirit in line. You've got to have a spiritual empowerment. You got to be empowered. You have to have the energy. You have to have the determination. You have to have the willingness to go through valleys. You have to have the willingness to go through challenges and come out on top. Have faith. You have to be able to see and believe that what you don't see is going to that it's going to happen. You have to have faith. Faith, okay, is the evidence and the belief in something that you cannot see, and believing that it is real and that it is going to be manifested. Okay. And so the entire point of Spiritual Sundays is to give you that empowerment on Sunday, so that way you can start your week on Monday and crush your week because you are spiritually in tune. All right. So this is all about your self-identity. This is all about improving our self-validation. We don't need validation from the world. We can validate ourselves. Okay. We don't need love exterior. We need to love ourselves. Okay. We need to empower ourselves, because the truth of the matter is, y'all, if we wait on the world to empower us, if we wait on the world to love us, if we wait on the world to validate us, if we wait on the world to give us our identity, we are always going to be disappointed, because the reality is the most empowering person who can ever empower us is ourselves. Because the truth of the matter is, the person's words and beliefs that cut deep the most is not the person who's outside of us. It's always ourselves. The strongest voice that influences us the most is our own voice. Okay? This is why it's important for us to develop a very strong sense of spirituality, okay? A very strong mindset, and we have to protect that with everything we have, because in the world, y'all, that we live in, there is a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of people who are against seeing you win. And the truth of the matter is, sometimes those people in our lives are the people who are very close to us, that we would love to be our cheerleaders, that deep down inside we hope they are our cheerleaders, and in reality they prove to us they're not. I'm here to tell you right now that this is the thing that's going to help you be able to get to everything that you have been dreaming, that vision, that dream life, your dream business, all of that you have been dreaming, the accomplishments that you wish to have in your life, the people that you wish to impact in your life, the things that you have been called to do, that feeling that you feel in your spirit, that knowing that you have deep down in your spirit, regardless of whatever anyone has told you, you feel this thing in your spirit that just needs to come out. You know that definitely you are here to impact the world in your own special way, that God has planted a gift inside of you, that if anyone were to see that gift, that they would be blessed by it. You have that in you. And you know it with a knowing, not a guessing, a knowing. You know it. I am here to help you unlock that, because the truth of the matter is, if you let the world determine who you are and what you have and the value of the gift that you have, they're always going to leave you disappointed. So what is the entire point of me coming on here tonight? What do I want to get to? What do I want to get through to you? Here is what it is. The entire focus of tonight is the butterfly effect. I have come here to talk to you about the butterfly effect. What is the butterfly effect? The butterfly effect. The butterfly effect rests on the notion that the world is deeply interconnected, such that one small occurrence can influence a much larger complex system. This is the butterfly effect. Now, what does that really mean? It simply means this. It means that one little shift in the world, one little change can affect the world as a mass. Okay, so how can we look at this? Let's look at it this way. I've got a story I'm going to share with you as an example, because see, we all have lived the butterfly effect, and we live it every day without even knowing that it's taking root, and that the butterfly effect is active in our lives every single day. We don't even realize that there are some things that we do where we are literally causing this butterfly effect to happen in the world. And the reason why I am here to talk to you about this butterfly effect today is because I want to let you know something. I want to let you know, just as a butterfly can change the world, you can change the world too, because what the butterfly effect is all about is, again, one small change happening that changes a bigger thing. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're going to the store, and have you ever gone to the store and you're getting ready to walk through the door and somebody's walking in front of you, and while they're walking in front of you, they open a door, they walk in, and they don't hold the door open for you, they just walk in, right? They don't hold the door open for you, the door closes on you, and they just and that's it. And there's this pattern of people just walking in and not closing the door, right? And then now you finally get to the door, somebody's coming in behind you, okay, and you decide to hold the door open for that person. You decide that, hey, I'm going to do something different. And for the person behind me, I'm going to hold that door open. You decide to hold that door open. Have you ever been that person before? Have you ever done that before? I have been that person. Okay, I have definitely been that person. Now, something magical happens in that moment. Have you ever noticed that sometimes, or even a lot of times for you, when you are the person that holds the door open for the person behind you, that magically all of a sudden now, if there's somebody coming behind that person that you held the door for, they stop and hold that door for the next person. And now that next person stops and looks back to see if there's another person coming to hold the door for. You have just exercised the butterfly effect. If you have done that, you have just seen the butterfly effect in motion. By you deciding to make one small change, you've created this chain reaction to create a bigger change of people coming after you, helping one another, versus the people that came before you only helping themselves. This is your power. You have the power to make one small change, or what you may even consider to be small, a small change, and create a bigger change in the world. So here's what I have come to tell you. I have come to tell you that if you're somebody right now who's struggling with your self-identity, if you're somebody right now who's struggling with who are seeking validation from other people, if you are somebody right now who's struggling and seeking love from other people because of the lack of love you've received and the lack of self-love you have for yourself, if you're somebody right now who feels disempowered in yourself, disgusted with yourself, when you look in the mirror, you don't like who you see, I'm here to tell you right now, this message is for you specifically, because the reality is you are called to do something great. The reality is you are beautiful. The reality is you are someone who is absolutely important. How do I know this? Because the reality is each and every one of us have been created with the purpose that only us as an individual can fulfill. There is something that God put in you, and you know what it is already. It is sitting inside of you, right here inside of you. It is sitting inside of you. There's something that God put in you that only you can do. This is why it's your calling. Only you have been called to do this. Some things can only happen through you. There are some people out there who can only be touched by you. There are some people out there who can only be changed through you. And the only way for that to happen is for you to step up and to live your calling. But there is no way that we can do that in a state where we are disempowered, in a state where we are lost in our identity, in a state where we are seeking validation, in a state where we are not loving ourselves, because all of those states are low vibrations that cause low conversations versus high level conversations. It causes low level conversations. It causes us to have conversations where we are belittling ourselves, where we are disempowering ourselves, where we are putting ourselves down, where we are thinking less of ourselves. Okay, so this conversation, I want to talk to you about the butterfly effect, because I want to show you how much power you really have. No matter where you are in life, no matter how much money you have in your pocket, no matter what your skin color is, no matter how many degrees you have, no matter what life experience you have gone through, you absolutely have something that someone else needs from you that will change your life forever. You are a butterfly with the power to affect the lives of people. So let me go ahead and just share with you really quick a very interesting fact about butterflies. I want to share with you what butterflies actually represent. Butterflies spiritually represent rebirth, transformation, and the delicate balance between life and death. That's what butterflies represent. Now, the definition of an effect, okay, is a change that results with when something is done or happens. It is an effect is a change, is any change that results when something is done or happens. Okay? And so why is this important? Because you have the ability to 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 cause change in the lives of other people in a way where they can be reborn, in a way where they can be refreshed, in a way where they can be rebirthed. You have the power of life and death. And honestly, it's in your tongue. The Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. When you speak over your life and over the life of other people, what are you saying? You have the power of life and death in your tongue. When you speak over your loved ones, are you speaking life into them or are you speaking death into them? When you are speaking over yourself, are you using words of empowerment? When you look in the mirror and talk to yourself, are you using words of empowerment? Are you loving yourself? Are you telling yourself how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how powerful you are, how many things you know, how much do you know? How can you help? What are your skills? Are you giving yourself a pat in the back? How are you talking to yourself? How are you talking to those around you? You have the power to be able to change the lives of other people and yourself all through the words that you say. I'm here to tell you right now that if you're struggling with your self-identity or validation or love or empowerment, I'm here to tell you right now that please remember who you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are created in the image of God. God created all of us in his image. Genesis chapter 1 tells us that. See, when we remember not just who we are, but whose we are, we can understand how much we matter. And when we also understand the butterfly effect, we understand how much we matter. Because the truth of the matter is, regardless whether we live our lives at the fullest of our potential and we exercise our God-given power to be a butterfly that affects the very fabric of our society, to choose which side we want to play on, whether or not we want to play on the side that disempowers our society or the side that empowers our society, or if we want to sit on the fence feeling like we could have done better, we feel like we could have done more. The truth of the matter is we're all going to pass away. The question is, are we going to utilize our God-given gift, our God-given power to change the lives of other people? Are we going to utilize the time that we've been blessed with to exercise the fact that we matter, to express the fact that we matter? As a matter of fact, let's just talk about what matters actually means. Like what does the definition of matter mean? Because we hear it all the time, right? All lives matter. Black lives matter. I'm here to tell you your life matters. The definition of matter, here's what matter means. As a verb, matter means to be of importance and to have significance. So when I say your life matters, I'm telling you your life is important. Because of the butterfly effect, when you make the decision to live out your dream, when you make the decision and the commitment to live out your dream, to do the thing that is inside you and your spirit that you feel burning inside you, when you decide to unleash that burning desire to be the full version of you, to go after it, regardless of what your limitations may be, to live in the unlimited truth of who you are, that you are unlimited, that there is nothing that you cannot do because God created you that way. When you decide to live in that true power, you get to exercise your true importance, because the fact of the matter is you are important. Your ability to affect the lives of other people is what makes you important. Your ability to share the things that God has given you, the gifts that God has given you, whether that's knowledge or experience, or maybe that's something that you have physically, whatever that gift is that you have that's inside of you, you can give that to other people. And when you give it to other people, it impacts them, it affects their life. And some people, there's lives out there that you're going to change. Okay. There are some lives that you yourself as an individual are called to change. And it is only possible when you make the decision to live out your dream. And so matter also has another definition. Matter as a noun, matter is a physical substance in general, a distinct of mind and spirit. In physics, that which occupies space and possesses rest mass, especially as distinct from energy. Okay, that's a very scientific explanation or definition of what matter is. Okay, but matter essentially is something, okay, that takes up space. Okay, it has meaning to it, it has purpose to it. It is in existence. Everything that is in existence has a purpose. God created everything with a purpose. So when he created you for a purpose. You already know intrinsically what that is. You may not know consciously just yet. You may not be clear on what it is, but intrinsically, deep down inside in your spirit, it already lives inside of you. Your responsibility is to live your life discovering what that is, getting clear on it, and giving that gift away. You matter. What you do matters. The future you matters. You have been called to change the world. And even though wherever you are right now, if you feel that what you're doing is a small thing, I'm here to tell you that it's it's mostly the small things that make the big things work. As a matter of fact, think about it this way. It's the 1% of people that control most of the world's wealth. It's usually the small things that have a big effect. The truth of the matter is, the world can only change one person at a time. The more you and I improve, the more you become the next version of you, the better the world is becoming. We all have the choice, and we all have the choice to contribute in a way that is destructive or constructive. Every time we do something constructive, we are affecting the world in a positive way. And so with that, you have that power. When you decide to live in your purpose, when you make the decision to believe that you matter, that your life is of significance, that you are special, that there is something you are carrying that only you can carry, that only you can give. And when you get out there and give it and you live it, that is when you get to see that power in effect. And I'm here to tell you right now, because honestly, some of you may be feeling right now, yes, Luke, I feel you. I feel that power, man. Thank you for this message. You may be feeling the burning desire to get out there and do exactly what you've been called to do right now. But maybe some of you, I know some of you may be stuck. You see, we all have that intrinsic desire in our heart to get out there and do what we believe and what we feel. However, most people in this world aren't doing it. Most people in this world aren't doing it. As a matter of fact, most people in this world are living below what their potential is. And the question comes, well, why? Well, why? There's a lot of reasons for that. One great big reason is most people struggle with their self-identity. And a lot of times it's tied to a belief in themselves that's tied to something that they did in the past. Regardless of whatever you've done in the past, I'm here to tell you, you are anointed to change the world. All you have to do is make the decision to move from this moment on, from this moment right now, to take steps in the direction where you are living your full potential, and you are contributing and giving your gift away. Because your past doesn't matter. There's been many times God has used people who have done unthinkable things, and he's used them to bless people. I mean, just look at some of the disciples Jesus had around him. It doesn't matter what their background was. They were able to serve one of the most, well, the most, not even one of the most influential person who's ever walked the planet. The same person who we look up to today. The same person that we trust if you're a Christian, all right? The same person I trust my life with. Okay? So people that he had around him, his disciples, were people who have done things that were unthinkable. Your past does not matter. A lot of times God uses people who have dark pasts to do very beautiful, life-changing, powerful things. If you've gone through something in your life, I'm here to tell you right now, it was a training room. God was grooming you for something. Sometimes we have to go through things, and we have to experience things that we don't want to experience to be able to develop within ourselves an experience that brings out a greater understanding of our true purpose and our true identity, so we can now get into alignment with what God has for us and get into alignment with all of the visions that we have for ourselves, and actually create that life in that future we've always desired to create. Sometimes there are some lessons that we need to learn that the future version of us knows and needed to know in order to be able to do the things that they do. I'm here to tell you right now. How many of you right now, if you're watching live right now, if you're live with me, how many of you know the truth that the version of us today and the version of us that we desire to become are two different versions of us? They're two different people. They have different habits. They think differently. They know different things. And how can I say that with so much conviction and belief? It's because it's the truth. How can I say that with so much conviction and belief? It's because if you were already that person who has all the things that you desire to have, who's doing all the things that you desire to do, then you'd already be living that life you desire to live. And if you're not living it already, that means that you're not that person yet. And that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing, because the very first step to change, the very first step to the butterfly effect, is becoming aware that change is needed. And it's becoming aware of where that change needs to take place. Listen, your past does not matter. Only your future does. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 15 through 21, there's a sentence there that says, your old life is gone. I'm reading out of the NLT here. Your old life is gone. A new life has begun. And all of this is a gift from God, who brought us back to himself through Christ. Now, you know what's interesting about that scripture is because it kind of represents a butterfly. If we go back and look at that again, the old life, that's the old version of you, the old man that you used to be. The old life is gone, and a new life has begun. Just like a butterfly, butterflies were once worms. They start off, that's their old life, crawling around on the ground, eating a lot of leaves, laying around, getting fat. That's their old life. And then one day they get into a cocoon They go into isolation from the rest of the world. And during that isolation, they are transforming. They are transforming. That gift is being mended and transformed and expanded. That gift inside of you during that cocoon phase is being molded into its best form. So that way, when you emerge and you give that gift away, you are giving your greatest gift. And so very much like a butterfly goes into a cocoon to develop its greatest gift. You see, back when the butterfly was a worm, nobody pays it any attention. When you see a butterfly, don't you say, wow, how beautiful is that creature? But it's so interesting how when we see a worm, we don't think about the beauty that's in the worm because we don't see the wings yet. But that gift of beauty, that gift of awe that is in the butterfly was always in the butterfly since the butterfly was a worm. And the worm didn't know it was going to be a butterfly until it became one. Until one day it realized, you know what? I'm more than this. And it decided to go into isolation, crystallize, and then transform into its true identity. This is what you're going to do. This is the path that you're on. All the things that's been happening to you, all of the challenges that life has been throwing your way, it has all been to harden you, to crystallize you, to form you into the butterfly that you are going to emerge to be, that God has called you to be. So your past does not matter. As a matter of fact, your past is a part of creating who you need to be, so that way you can actually manifest the vision that you have for your future. So your past does matter in that sense. It matters only for you to be able to learn the lessons that needed to be learned from those mistakes, so that way you can be reformed into the next version of you, the new man who can do all the things and does do all the things that creates and manifests the vision that you have for your future, the one that's inside of you, the version of you that gives that gift away and gives that gift away at the highest potential, that version of you who loves yourself, who knows who you are, who is self-validated, and who is self-empowered, and who takes action on that belief because you are now a butterfly. That version of you who understands that the only person and the only persons that matters is your own. And you're full and you're whole because you now have the love of yourself guiding you, and most importantly, the love of God surrounding you, because you are a butterfly and you now understand your true power that you have, which is the ability to transform the lives of other people, which is why it is so important that you become successful. Whatever that looks like for you, success is subjective, y'all. That could be anything. Success for you could be to lose 10 pounds. Success for you could be to make to make an extra $100,000. It could be to do a real estate deal. Success for you could be just to have a conversation with the loved one that you haven't been speaking with, that you desire to mend a relationship with. Whatever that looks like, it's going to require the new version of you to step in and for the old version of you to die. And if it didn't require that, and if the old version of you that's been living could do the job, the job would already be done already. So let me ask you something that you need to ask yourself. The current version of me that I'm going to change, because I believe we can start with ourselves. We can use the butterfly effect with ourselves. We could change the trajectory of our own life by changing one shift in our own life day. When you ask yourself, is the version of me serving me? What parts of me are serving me and what parts of me are not? And be honest, whatever parts of you in this old version of you that's that isn't serving you, you have you have the power to identify what that is. And once you become aware of it, you now have the power to change it. You now have the power to make a small shift that'll change the big trajectory of your future in that area. You now have the power to create the butterfly effect in your own life